To the African History Network show right here on 910 a.m. the Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Friday, June 25th, 2021, and we're live. Hope everybody's doing well today. Look, it's been a very, very busy day. Still trying to get caught up on things. I was in Atlanta for 5 days for the Juneteenth festival, the 9th annual Juneteenth festival. So on today's show, we know we had some breaking news stories today. The Justice Department, led by Attorney General Merrick Garland, has announced that they are suing the state of Georgia over the SB 202 voter restriction bill. And they are alleging that it discriminates against African-American voters, okay, and targets African-American voters. So Attorney General Merrick Garland held a press conference today. He was flanked by Assistant Attorney General Lisa McConaughey, as well as Kristen Clark, Assistant Attorney General of the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department. So this is a huge development. And I did a post on Facebook today regarding this. And I said that this reminds me of in 1871, when President Ulysses S. Grant used the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871 to declare martial law in South Carolina. Okay, declare martial law in South Carolina. I'm going to pull this up here on the screen share so you can see this, because this history is tied together. A lot of people don't know this history. I posted, I said, AG Merrick Garland suing Georgia over voting rights reminds me of President Ulysses S. Grant on October 17th, 1871. October 17th, 1871, declaring martial law in 9 counties in South Carolina, using the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871 to crack down on terrorism, by the Ku Klux Klan against African Americans. This lawsuit that was filed today by the Department of Justice. It's a 46-page lawsuit. New York Times has a big article about this, Washington Post, NBC News as well. This lawsuit comes on the 8th anniversary of Shelby County versus Holder, U.S. Supreme Court case of 2013 that gutted Section 5 of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And as Attorney General Merrick Garland said today at the press conference, he said if Section 5 had not been gutted, most likely SB 202 would not have been able to, the Georgia voter restriction bill and these other voter restriction bills in these state legislatures dominated by Republicans, most likely these bills would not be able to go into effect. So this is an example of how elections have consequences. So we're going to talk about that on today's show. You're going to hear from Attorney General Merrick Garland from the press conference today. You'll also hear from Kristen Clark, Assistant Attorney General in the Department of in the Civil Rights Department of the Department of Justice. Then also we'll talk some about October 17th, 1871, when President Ulysses S. Grant declared martial law in South Carolina, using the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871. Okay, we'll discuss some of that history also, because this history is connected. And then we know that Derek Chauvin was sentenced today in the killing of George Floyd. Took place May 25th, 2020, in the murder of George Floyd. We know Derek Chauvin was sentenced today, sentenced to 22 and a half years. Now, the prosecution was asking for 30 years. Some people are saying, oh, this is a slap on the wrist. No, it's not a slap on the wrist. One, it's very hard to convict a police officer. Two, if you are the one that has to actually do 20 years, you know, it's not a slap on the wrist. You know, that is something very hard to do. And I have a clip from, unlike a lot of people talking who are saying this is a slap on the wrist, I have a clip from Georgetown law professor Paul Butler, who was 1, an attorney, 2, law school professor, 3, former federal prosecutor. And he's saying this is not a slap on the wrist. So I really listen to professionals than social media commentators who have no clue what they're talking about. So we'll deal with that also. All right. You can still register for the online course that I teach. We have a new session starting up on Sunday, July 4th, 2021, Sunday, July 4th, 2021. Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa, understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school. We deal with thousands of years of history, and we deal with what led up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. This is a 10-week online course that I teach. And we deal with ancient Africa. We deal with ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, the Nile Valley region of Africa, Abyssinia, Ta-Nehisi, Nubia, Ghana, Songhai, Mali, West Africa. We deal with the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors, and we deal with what led up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. We just posted a link here. You can register for the class. It starts up Sunday, July 4th, the 4th of July, or some people call it the 4th of July, Sunday, July 4th. 2021, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be 10 weeks, 10 consecutive Sundays. So if you go to our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, when you scroll down, you'll see the information for our radio show. We're here 6 days a week, and you scroll down, you'll see the information for the online course. Click on register here. Takes you to the next page and click on enroll. Class is regularly $130. It's on sale $80. We do the class live. All the sessions are recorded, so you can go back and watch them over and over again. Even after the course is over with, you still have access to the course. You can still watch it. For those that register now, we're also going to enroll you in our Saturday class that meets Saturdays, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have 3 more sessions of the Saturday class. So as soon as you enroll, you'll be able to watch the content from the Saturday class, even going back to classes 1 through 7, and you'll be able to join us live in class on Saturdays as well. And then Sunday, July 4th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the new class starts up. So you can register for that. We just posted the link here, or visit AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. And as a bonus, when you register, you'll also get a digital download of my latest lecture that I did June 16th, 2021, dealing with the real history of Juneteenth. Juneteenth is Emancipation Day, not Independence Day. We never got our 40 acres and a mule. It's a 2.5 hour. It's actually 2 hours, 29 minutes, lecture that I did. So you get that in digital download format. For our, Saturday class, Saturday, June 26th, we're going to, push that to the next day, June 27th. And, Sunday, June 27th, we'll do that Sunday, June 27th, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, because I have to attend a funeral on Saturday. Okay. And you know, we mourn the loss, we mourn the loss of Queen Mother Oceandara, Nefertiti El. So I have to attend her funeral on Saturday. Okay, so we got I was trying to get things organized and get all the details. I was in Atlanta for 5 days, but our Saturday, June 26th class, we'll do that Sunday, June 27th, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Those enrolled in the class, I'll send out an email as well. All right. Now on the African History Network show, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world. Because right now it's correct wrong behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. So when you control the radius of a man or a woman's thoughts, you can control the circumference of his or her actions, because the mind can't do or teach what it doesn't know. Now we deal with a number of different topics here on the African History Network show. We deal with current events in history, politics, education, economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, relationships, love, sex, health issues, and much, much more. Sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, K-E-M-E-T, to 22828 to sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, K-E-M-E-T, to 22828 to to sign up for our email newsletter. Also visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. If you like this type of information, you can support the African History Network, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, also through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN Show, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, or through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN Show. This helps us keep doing the research, stay on the air, keep broadcasting 6 days a week, pay some of the bills, etc. Okay. And when you do $ the AHN Show, SHOW, it'll say Michael and show my picture there as well. Okay. All right. So I want to jump into this content. Topics for today's show. Calling number 313-778-7600. It's the calling number 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a quick question or comment. Okay. We'll go to the phone lines in just a minute here. So stand by. I want to go to, we have Ed. Welcome aboard. Ed is our board operator on Friday nights. We're going to go to, just a second. We're going to go to clip 1. This is Attorney General, Merrick Garland. Now, the Justice Department sued Georgia on Friday, June 25th over a sweeping, voting law passed by the state of Georgia's Republican-led state legislature. The first significant move by the Biden administration to challenge state-level ballot restrictions enacted during the 2020 election. Attorney General Merrick Garland said, quote, "The rights of all eligible citizens to vote are the central pillars of our democracy," end quote. He went on to say they are the rights from which all other rights ultimately flow. Now, the complaint accuses the Georgia law of effectively discriminating against black voters and seeks to show that state lawmakers intended to violate the rights of black voters, African American voters. Let's go to this clip, Ed.
2 weeks ago, I spoke about our country's history of expanding the right to vote. I noted that our progress on protecting voting rights, especially for Black Americans and people of color, has never been steady. Moments of voting rights expansion have often been met with counter efforts to curb the franchise. Among other things, I expressed concern about the dramatic rise in state legislative actions that will make it harder for millions of citizens to cast a vote that counts. I explained that the Justice Department is rededicating its resources to enforcing federal law and to protecting the franchise for all eligible voters. And I promised that we are scrutinizing new laws that seek to curb voter access, and that where we see violations of federal law, we will act. In keeping that promise, today the Department of Justice is suing the state of Georgia. Our complaint alleges that recent changes to Georgia's election laws were enacted with the purpose of denying or abridging the right of Black Georgians to vote on account of their race or color in violation of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Several studies show that Georgia experienced record voter turnout and participation rates in the 2020 election cycle. Approximately 2/3 of eligible voters in the state cast a ballot in the November election, just over the national average. This is cause for celebration. But then in March of 2021, Georgia's legislature passed SB 202. Many of that law's provisions make it harder for people to vote.
All right, pause it right there, Ed. Pause it right there. Pause it right there. Okay, pause it right there. Just back it up about 20, 30 seconds or so. We'll pick this up on the other side of the break. This is an example of how elections had consequences. Attorney General William Barr, Department of Justice, or definitely Jeff Sessions' Department of Justice, would not have sued former Confederate state Georgia.